An adjective is a word that modifies or describes a noun or pronoun. Three simple words. I generated them from our Lord and Savior, ChatGPT, and decided to construct a character based around these traits. Now, the traits I was given is jubilant, luminous, and rugged. And with my prompts, I was off, ready to create a character. Me life. It's not something I look back on much, but I suppose there's merit to it. You don't want to be doing the wrong thing twice, do you? Right, okay. Where to begin? I suppose the start. Yeah, okay. My name is Chalk Range. If you didn't pick up on my height, somehow, the name Chalk should be a dead giveaway. Yes, I'm a soil folk, born in the land of crop itself, Blantonia. As a kiddin', my ma and pa got on well enough. Me ma owned a small bakery in Choba, the town we lived at. Me pa, on the other hand, was a miner. Didn't really see him much, basically lived in the mines. I can't complain, of course. He brought home enough copper to keep our family of 6 well fed. Being the youngest of 4 brothers was a little frustrating. Of course I love me brothers and I hope they're doing well, but growing up with them made it difficult. I was always a shy kid. I didn't like playing ball or talking to the small lasses. Small stuff like that. I was teased about that stuff, basically my entire childhood. But to be honest, I wasn't half bothered about it. You see, I had a passion, still have a passion, for candles. A smurmog, we call it. Lads and lasses who love making candles from all kinds of waxes. I remember I must have been around 5 when my grandpa took me out one night. He was a smurmog himself, you see, and a bloody good one at that. He had set up his candles all across the town centre, and by the gods it was beautiful. They shined like the stars above, glistening and reflecting against the stone, making their cold greys come to life with warm hues of gold. He truly was a wonderful man. But everything changed when my pa lost his legs in the accident. The cave collapsed and took his legs with him. With him not able to work, the bakery wasn't going to make enough, and neither was candle making. I was working age at that point, so I had to pick up where my pa left off. I had to become a miner. So that's what I did for the next 3 years. My pa, may he rest in peace, passed not long after his injury. My ma was never the same after that. Man, it was hard work. Hours and hours of hitting shite with a rusty pick. My team focused on mining tin. The human lot used it for all that tinkering they do. I made a few friends, none of them that would remember me. I missed candle making. It was raining that day. It was near harvest, so the town was decorated in all sorts of pretty colours. Me and my crew were given our biggest extraction mission yet, going deeper than anyone had beforehand. Everything went well at first. The crew had tied me to the ceiling using ropes, which allowed me to traverse down the cliffside. I was the smallest, so I did all this sort of stuff. Bloody ridiculous if you ask me. But nevertheless, that's when things started to fuck up. The cables started to become loose. I shouted my lungs out, "Get me up! Get me up!" But the rope was stuck. It snapped, and then I fell. No one ever came looking for me. Luckily, I landed in a big underground pool. I had no idea how deep I was. All I knew was it was dark and cold. Me Gramps gave me one of his candles before he passed. A candle I always carried in my backpack. And thank the gods for that. I lit the candle. The light flooded the chasm, lit up the unknown. That's when I saw them. There were 10 or so Palomine, all surrounding me, squinted, blinded by the light. Me ma always told me stories about the mountain folk, how they run away under the mountain and became ugly goblins that gobbled the kiddies up. Oh, how wrong she was. We didn't trust each other at first, but still they showed me their home. The way they dig out caves and use metal supports to make living space. It still amazes me. It's so alien. Anyways, they fed me, clothed me, and even gave me a place to stay. Me and the Palamine slowly learned to get along. We shared stories. They taught me about the forge and the goddess Valamina. I did the same, teaching them about the harvest and the gods. It was nice. I started to feel at home. Especially around Luna. A pretty face with white curly hair that reached her bottom. Me and her got along well, spending a lot of time together. She was learning how to become a smithy, and even at apprentice level she was bloody good at it. Made me a lovely dagger. It even had pumpkin engravings in it, to honour me god. One night she snuck into the place I was staying. She wanted me to tell her something. She asked me what I was holding the first day we met. I explained to her what a candle was. She was fascinated. I could see it in her eyes. I promised to her that I would make her one, and I did. Wasn't bloody easy, that's for sure. Took me months finding wax substitutes. I let her light it. She was wearing those fancy goggles the Palmine wear. They do it to protect their sensitive eyes from the light. The lit candle highlighted the edge of her gorgeous face. Her lips. We had a night of passion under the candlelight. That's when she gave me my Palmine name, Luminous. So, that is Luminous, or Chalk. I hope you enjoyed my little story section. If you did like that, I'm down to do some others. It was really fun. So, as you can see, Chalk is a soil folk. So they're sort of like hobbits of my world. They're like short, around 4 foot tall, and big ears, big eyes, and a feature that they all have is braids. They all have braids. It's just part of their culture, and they actually worship vegetables. So they have something called harvest, which is very important, and they believe that the gods themselves are vegetables, which they sacrifice parts of themselves in order to feed the population. So that's what they believe harvest is. It's the gods sacrificing themselves in order for the Palmine, sorry, not the Palmine, the soil folk to have food. Now, looking at the design, I tried giving him a headlamp, because that's before I gave him the whole candle idea, because I was going for like a more minor look here, as in like a literal minor, but the headlamp doesn't really work in my world. It just wasn't working, like the hairstyle wasn't really suiting, and I don't know, I just did not like how it was looking, so I eventually get rid of that. I also change up his hair and make it a little bit different. I think this is when I decide I've had enough. Yeah, I gave up there and changed up. So, yeah, so this is all gonna, this character's set in my world, and the adjectives I got is joyous. I think I tried to make the character quite cheerful, silly, sort of just, just a happy dude. I could have maybe changed a little bit, made his story a little bit less serious, or like his performance that I did. But other than that, he's quite a jovial man. He's adapted into Palmine society, and he's found comfort there. The other trait is rugged. Now that was quite easy. I like to imagine that when he fell down to the cave, he had short hair and was clean shaven. But as time progressed, he just he didn't shave, and his hair grew out long and curly. So that's why he's got like this curly hair and a beard. Of course, he kept the braid because he's still on his religion and his culture. He's still a soil folk. He still worships the gods. But he's a rugged dude. He lives in a cave. I mean, I just sort of tried to implement that, and I think that was a very good way of doing so. Not really much else to say here. Like just sort of going through the line work. This is where I give him his beard. I like drawing beards. They're fun. Beards are great. I love drawing beards. This part is non-scripted, obviously, because I couldn't, I couldn't talk for 20 minutes. That would be a very, very long video script. I'd have to like give him his like extremely detailed life, and I don't want to write that. I'm already struggling to get this out in the first place. Talking about the whole YouTube stuff, I want to thank you guys so much for last week's video. Was it last week? I don't even know. Fuck. But yeah, last week's video. I got like 98 views and seven likes. That's really good. It's really inspired me to actually try this properly. Actually put a lot of effort into these videos and try make something for you guys to genuinely enjoy, because like I feel like I can do that. I can make something where people actually enjoy watching. So I just want to thank you so much, and I don't want to beg. I'm not begging, obviously. You don't have to, but I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe, because like 87% of you are not subscribed. So could you do me a favor? Like, if you enjoy my content and you want to stick around, subscribing would let you know exactly when I upload, and it would really help me a lot, and I would be very thankful. I'm already thankful though, because watching is already very, very kind of you. So anyways, I did something different with the shading. So I kind of give him a backlit. I did some backlit shading because of the whole luminous idea, which was the third trait. Now, it's also his name, but luminous obviously means, lit, like lit up. So that's where I got the idea to give him a smumug. Hang on, what's it? I looked it up. Smearmorger. It is a person who makes candles. So he is a smearmorger. I don't think you've heard of any fucking fantasy character that... Oh yeah, what's your character, Sam? Oh, I'm playing a smearmorger. A what? Oh, the person who makes candles. So yeah, he's a candle maker. He got inspiration from his granddad, and he loves making candles. However, he had to stop making candles when his dad lost both his legs, and he had to pick up where he left off in the mine. To make money for him and his siblings. If you're wondering where his siblings went, because he didn't talk about that. They joined the military. Which is basically the soil folk have a militia or a guard that travel from village to village, just delivering vegetables and just keeping the vegetables secure. Because there's a lot of raiding that happens where people raid the vegetables because they're hungry and they want to eat, because growing stuff is difficult, and food is not exactly something that's really common for these people. So it's a very big deal to have like the soil, the harvest where everyone gets vegetables and so on. So I'm just doing his outfit. He's wearing a pretty standard like work shirt and a sort of apron that goes over one side, like it's sort of like a half apron, if that makes sense. He's got like sort of very goldenish eyes, and so yeah, just sort of adding in some shading at this point. It's at this stage that I realized, hang on, no, surely not. I looked it up. I drew James Marriott. This is just James Marriott. Like the beard, the hair. And I shat myself. Because why is he James Marriott? Why did this Jimbo, I'm sorry. Sorry, Jimbo. You can even see in the corner that I saved his temporary name as Jimbo because I didn't have a name for him at that point. Because I kind of made the design first. I had an idea in my head, but I sort of came up with the story for this guy as I was drawing. The artwork didn't take too long. It took about... I did it in a few sections. I think it in total did about 4 hours. I really struggled with the hair, the shading of the hair. I did a lot of different like techniques and stuff like that, but in the end I didn't like any of that. Like I really tried to give him like a curly hair texture, but it just wasn't looking good. So I really did take a lot of time just trying to get his hair right, and ultimately I ended up with just sort of going with a more straight hair sort of look, being less messy, more sort of purposeful, because this just looks bad. Like that doesn't look great. It just looks too messy. So I try again, dial it back, I try a few different things here, dislike all of it, and then I go back to how I draw hair standardly, and then just give it some more curl. And I think that did a pretty okay job in actually sort of showing that this is, showing that this is a curlier hair texture. I think it really has that sort of messily outgrown, it carries that messily outgrown hairstyle quite well. So I'm quite happy with it. I do some some smaller shading here. I really like his hair. I'm really quite happy with how his hair came out. The sort of, I've always really struggled with sort of curlier hair. And I know it's not like super curly, but it sort of does have that texture. Like you can look at that and go, yeah, he has curly hair. I do the highlights here, just sort of, make sure everything's looking good. I do some highlights on his beard, and then I head on to shading his beard. I just sort of give him some scratches with the thick hair pen, just sort of up and down, and then do the same for highlights, and it's just a really easy way to make a good looking beard. Anyway, that's me done, so I merge all of it together, and now I do the important thing. What I do is I make a secondary layer, and I mask it, and then I sort of give him a shadow, because he's going to be like, he's in a cave, and then the important bit here is getting the edge lighting. So I wanted to make him look like he's got some sort of candle or something behind him, just to sort of give off that luminous look. So I'm quite happy with that. Change a few things slightly, and then I also do some highlights in yellow, especially in the eyes, just to sort of make it look like just look more real and more integrated into the design. He's backlit, so I struggle to sort of realize where I would put it, and I don't think the light would light up there, but I like it anyways, and I think it's really cute. So that is Chalk, aka Luminous. He is really fun, and if you liked this whole character design sort of thing that I went going, just ask me, and I would love to get into more character design and story work. It was really fun. And I hope you had fun watching this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers. Bye. Take care of yourselves.